Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So there was breaking news this afternoon. It was something we've assumed, but it wasn't confirmed until today. So here's the deal. The unnamed Trump employee number 4 that was listed in the superseding indictment of Donald Trump, Walt Nauta, and Carlos de Oliveira is in fact cooperating with the government. I mentioned to all of you when the indictment was first filed that this was likely that this guy had flipped on Trump and the others because he had just switched attorneys. This employee number 4, you guys might remember, he is said to be the IT director for Mar-a-Lago. If he's still there, we don't know. It's a man named Yusil Taveras. He's the one who allegedly was approached by de Oliveira, and de Oliveira allegedly told him, hey, the boss wants the server deleted. How can we do this? Well, it's now been confirmed by ABC News that Taveras changed his testimony after firing his Trump-paid attorney and obtaining a public defender. Taveras is said to have given false testimony to the grand jury back in March. And so the special counsel sent him a target letter in June, and they warned him, you're probably going to be charged with perjury. So that's when Taveras decided to switch legal counsel. Up to that point, he was represented by attorney Stanley Woodward. Woodward is being paid by a Trump-related super PAC, and he's also representing Walt Nauta. So it was a clear conflict of interest, you know, if one guy's going to flip and the other one isn't. And according to sources who spoke with ABC News, the special counsel agreed to let Taveras off the hook for the perjury in exchange for his truthful testimony against the others. So he accepted that agreement. That was in July. He met with the special counsel. He spilled the tea. And then 1 week later, they hit Trump and the others with the superseding indictment, and then they added de Oliveira to the case. So the sources also say Taveras wasn't pressured to lie for Trump. He claims he was not coerced or pressured in any way to lie. He apparently told investigators he just didn't want to get further involved in the situation, and he also feared losing his job. So I guess fear of going to prison was a little bit worse than fear of losing his job. So now we know for sure he's cooperating. Like I said, we don't know if he's still working for Trump. I wouldn't be surprised if he's not there anymore. The other news that came out today was that the Coup clowns are already starting to turn on each other. In a new court filing, David Schaefer threw Trump's team and his fellow Georgia Republicans under the Trump train. Schaefer is the former Georgia Republican Party chairman, and he's one of the state's fake electors for Trump. So he was named in the indictment down in Georgia. And Schaefer's attorneys are now blaming Trump, also his attorneys, his campaign, and local Republican Party officials for convincing Schaefer to assemble the fake electors. The filing reads, quote, Mr. Schaefer and the other Republican electors in the 2020 election acted at the direction of the incumbent president and other federal officials. Schaefer also provided documents to the court. They show that Trump's team was intimately involved in the process, and Schaefer specifically named one of his co-defendants, pointed the finger at him. It's an attorney named Ray Smith. He says he is like one of the primary driving forces behind the convening of these fake electors. One of the documents that he provided, it included a transcript from the meeting in which they all signed these fraudulent elector certificates. According to the transcript, attorney Ray Smith said, quote, we're conducting this because the contest of the election in Georgia is ongoing. It wasn't. And so we continue to contest the election of the electors in Georgia. And so we're going to conduct this in accordance with the Constitution of the United States. And we're going to conduct the electorate today similar to what happened in 1960 in Hawaii. They did not. I plan on sharing information with all of you about what took place in 1960 with that Hawaii vote and what they keep using as cover. I'll do that in another segment. But Schaefer also provided a copy of an email that he received on December 10th. This was in 2020 from Georgia Republican Party attorney, a man named Alex Kaufman. Along with Ray Smith, this other attorney, his co-defendant, Trump-related attorneys Cleta Mitchell and Kurt Hilbert were CC'd in this email. And in the email, it read, quote, "I am reconfirming the importance of our collective advice that our slate of delegates meet on December 14th per the federal deadline and cast their ballots in favor of President Trump. I believe that this is still the most conservative course of action to preserve the best chance for Georgia to ultimately support the president's reelection." In addition to throwing his fellow Republicans and Trump under the Trump train, Schaefer is still contending that he took these actions just in case Trump won one of his court cases. The problem that he's going to run into in court, I believe, is the fact that they tried to hide what they were doing. So that shows consciousness of guilt. Because remember, these fake electors talked about sneaking into the Capitol building the day before and then hiding out overnight so that they would be in the building the next day without anyone seeing them enter to sign these documents. And then on the day that they signed them, there was a journalist named George Cheedy, and he just so happened to see them. He was there reporting on the real electors, saw all of these people walking into this room, and he got curious and suspicious. So he walked in and said, "Hey, what are you guys up to? What's going on?" And they forced him out, and then they lied to him. They said, "Oh, this is a meeting about an educational matter. It's an education meeting." So if they really believed that what they were doing was totally above board, what they were doing was, totally legitimate, nothing wrong, why would they lie? But Schaefer's attorneys submitted this filing not just to point the finger at other people. What they're doing, and the whole purpose of submitting this, was to ask for Schaefer's case to be moved from state court to federal court. This is being done by several of these defendants in this case, but he contends, meaning Schaefer, that as an elector in the presidential election, his actions were, quote, under the color of his federal duty. So that's the term used to describe actions or statements made as part of one's official duties when you're working for the federal government. So typically, you're covered by that. It allows federal employees some immunity for their professional actions. I think this is a huge stretch, though. I mean, the entire reason he was indicted was because he wasn't a real elector, right? Hence the charge of impersonating a public officer. Trump lost. That's kind of the whole point. That kind of underscores all of this. So we'll see what happens, but I'll have more news for you guys in the days that follow on other people and the legal maneuvers they're trying to pull and trouble they're encountering. It's not good. It's not looking good for them. It's good for the country, not good for them. All right. Thank you all so much for watching and listening. Please like, please share, please subscribe. Please become a donor if possible. Love you all. Take care. Talk with you soon.